For the state to encourage, first of all, we all know that the state should not be in the business of hiring. We've got to cut government. We've got to make our government smaller and encourage small businesses to flourish. And by doing that, we've got to be able to say, listen, we're going to cut your BET taxes, and we're going to let you reinvest, okay, into your business. Right now, nobody knows. If you take a look at what went on with the LLC tax, I mean, that really stuck it to the small businesses here in New Hampshire. There was freeze on hiring all throughout the state. And if you look, even though we're not doing bad on our unemployment status numbers there, we still have a lot of work to do to help these businesses. By throwing taxes in on cigarettes was a ricochet effect there because people come into New Hampshire and then they didn't used to buy cigarettes and get gas, go to our restaurants. So then why would they want to come into New Hampshire if we'll keep raising our taxes? We've got to make it beneficial for the businesses to be able to flourish on their own, use their own money.
I think that right now, considering the lower unemployment rate that we have, businesses, I don't have an answer to that, I guess.
Kind of goes back to the last answer I just gave. What the state can do is stop excessive spending. I'm a small businessman. I have been for over 30 years. And I can tell you that categorically one of the biggest things on businesses right now is the fact that the rules and regulations being imposed on them, not just statewide but federally, are crushing the small businessman. You know, big business has personnel to handle those excessive amounts of paperwork and rules and regulations. Small business doesn't. They can't afford it. Most small businesses are hurting and they're just barely keeping their doors open. And what's happening nationally and statewide is we're crushing the small businessman. I fear that this new health care that passed by the Congress in Washington is going to be devastating to the small businessman. And between the state lowering its spending, stopping putting new taxes on businesses, and stopping the excessive regulations that businesses have to come under, that's how we're going to create jobs in this state, and that's what's going to attract businesses to this state, not what's happening in the present economy and in the present situation.
Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. I believe that we need to do everything that we can to promote their success, because that is going to help us in the long run. That is going to bring about jobs and bring about local taxes that will help our local economy. One of the issues that I disagree with the past legislature and with the Democratic leadership is the LLC tax. I believe that that was a bad tax. We need to encourage our small businesses to thrive and encourage them to continue to bring on individuals and workers, because that is going to help us in the long run. I believe that we need to do something to lower healthcare costs across the board for small businesses. We need to make it easier for them to employ and to provide healthcare for their workers rather than making it more difficult.
Do some of the regulations, and I think if you could do something about the insurance costs and the workman's comp and unemployment tax. We have a high unemployment tax, and we have one of the highest business taxes in the state. And I think you have to give businesses a break someplace along the line, and something that's meaningful to have them hire somebody. When they hire somebody for, say they hire somebody for $40,000, the actual cost to that employer, by the time they get through with benefits and taxes and training somebody, is probably $70,000 a year. So somehow you have to reduce that burden, and business has to look better for them to hire someone. Otherwise, they're going to have their, excuse me, the current employees work overtime and extend hours. But I think that the state doesn't really have much to do about that. It's the economy and anything they can do to make the business climate more favorable.
Cut their taxes. We are one of the highest taxed states in small business in the country. I ran my business here in Londonderry, and I had to pay business profits tax, business enterprise tax, all the insurance taxes that I have to pay the federal government. You know, a small businessman, when he goes to work in the morning, almost 55 to 60% of the first dollar he earns goes to the tax man someplace, whether it be at the federal level or the state level. The businessman, the business owner, is the last one in the hierarchy to get paid. We've got to get the taxes under control. Passing this LLC tax, this limited liability tax that we passed earlier, that the state passed, was a sin. It was really a shame to do that to small business in a time of a recession that we're under, to burden them with more obligations and more money. It's just wrong. So that's, you got to give the businessman the opportunity to go to work. These are the men and women who are willing to take the risk. If you don't handcuff them to the point where they can't function, they will take the risk, expand their business, hire people, and the town and cities will grow.
The only thing the state can do is to make it more business friendly, to reduce a lot of the fees, and that LLC tax was outrageous. And it's just a perfect example of how the Democrats in power have completely eroded the New Hampshire advantage for businesses. And we have to be very prudent in our legislation to make sure that the businesses are able to thrive and therefore want to hire. There's nothing we can do to say you're hiring people, but they will want to hire and need to hire people if our businesses are successful. And that's our job, to make sure that the climate in New Hampshire is prone to bringing businesses up and looking favorably on our state.
Well, there is a lot of things we could do. First of all, cut the taxes. Then give them incentive that if they come into New Hampshire, they can live, they can have tax-free property tax for a certain amount of years. And the 70 taxes that have been added, we need to take them out. We also have to have an attitude that they provide our income here. And if we tax them, then we won't have any. And what do? Keep printing money.